India's banking system is considered relatively safe and stable, and they've held their ground right from the Lehman Brothers blow up in 2008 to the recent collapse of the US based Silicon Valley Bank. While we can be proud about the relative stability of Indian banks, some incidents of recent weeks and months are worrying, particularly a few that look like gigantic blunders. India's banking skies look pretty clear, but there have been these recent incidents and stats that are red flags. 1. Taxi driver gets 90 billion rupees. That's 9,000 crore rupees. A taxi driver in Chennai recently got an eye-popping message from the Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank that his account had been credited with 90 billion rupees. The man, identified as Rajkumar, said, "At first I could not even count the amount because it had so many zeros in it. Until then, his account had only 105 rupees. Initially, he thought it was some prank. So he tried transferring 21,000 rupees to his friend and it worked. By then, the bank realized its folly, contacted him, requested him not to withdraw any more money, and according to reports, struck a compromise with him." What we heard next was that the Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank MD and CEO S. Krishnan had resigned for personal reasons. 2. Pharmacy worker gets 7.53 billion rupees. That is 753 crore rupees. Last month, Mohammed Idris, a pharmacy worker, sent 2,000 rupees to a friend from his Kotak Mahindra Bank account and then checked his account balance. And he finds that his account has been credited by 7.53 billion rupees. Idris then brought this to the bank's notice and they froze his bank account, telling him it was a technical fault. Now, how can one transfer 9,000 crore or for that matter 753 crore so imprudently? When a banker transfers 9,000 crore, he doesn't type 9000 and then CRORE, but has to key in the entire amount. That is 90,000,000,000 or 9 followed by 10 zeros. Visualize somebody sitting and keying in all those zeros without even sparing a thought as to why such a humongous amount is being transferred and to whom, for what. It had to be a bizarre typing error, plus not checking the account number, plus not checking who the payee is. I spoke to a few bankers at very senior levels, meaning chairman, MD, CEO levels, none of whom wanted to be quoted. And these are the reasons they surmise could have led to the goof up. Banks normally have the maker-checker system, someone who makes the credit and someone else who checks the transaction. In effect, 4 eyes to ensure that there is no mistake. When international transactions are made, often there is a third person involved, or in effect 6 eyes to ensure that all is right with the transaction. In the Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank and the Kotak Bank incidents, all 4 eyes, those of the maker and the checker, apparently failed. And in this digital era, there is a blame game too. Bankers say these are tech glitches, and techies say these are plain bankers' oversights. Some senior bankers feel that many in the new generation of bankers are not adequately grounded in the basic concept of a transaction. But with advanced IT enabling, an outlier transaction like 9,000 crores should have triggered an alert as a first line of defense, which apparently did not happen. In this context, being a little old world, conservative and rigid like the State Bank of India appears to be an advantage. SBI has some solid systems and processes in place from the time it began as the Bank of Calcutta, Bengal in 1806, 217 years ago. Here is a page from a book on SBI history. Sorry for the poor quality of the sepia tinted page. Governor General William Bentinck once sent a check to the Bank of Bengal for encashment which proved to be 4 annas beyond the sum at his credit. The check was promptly returned. Bentinck, on being informed of the circumstance, applauded the proceeding and remarked this was the bank to do business with, which would not violate its rule in the smallest particular for the Governor General himself. Some of SBI's practices may seem archaic, but they are effective from a banking sense. For example, when 2 staff go into the cash room and by chance there is a power outage, they hold to each other's hands so that neither lifts a bundle of notes. It may seem kooky or even dishonorable, but it's helpful and practical. 3. the Bank of Baroda's Bob World fiasco. This week, Akhil Handa, chief of the digital lending business of Bank of Baroda's Bob World app, resigned. His resignation comes after a reported serious mobile app irregularity by Bob World. The details are still emerging, but last month the Reserve Bank of India had asked the Bank of Baroda to immediately stop onboarding fresh customers on its Bob World mobile app for the 1.45 trillion rupee write-off. Parliament was informed in August that banks have written off 1.45 trillion rupees, that is 14.5 lakh crore rupees, over the last 9 years, beginning 2014-15. So much money written off and our banking sector is in fine fettle. I don't quite get it, but this second quarter of the fiscal, almost every bank has reported strong double-digit net profit growth. A serious mobile app irregularity that compromises the accounts of thousands of customers, carelessly transferring billions of rupees into unknown accounts, and writing off 1.5 trillion rupees in just 9 years. All of that doesn't matter, I guess. Just asking. This episode of Geometric View salutes Sujata Sethi, a 14-year-old from Odisha's Bhadrak district, who pedaled a trolley rickshaw for 35 kilometers to take her injured father to hospital. Sujata first took her father in the trolley rickshaw to a hospital 14 kilometers from her home, where doctors advised her to take him to the district headquarters hospital at Bhadrak. "I didn't have the means to hire a private vehicle," she said. So she pedaled all the way to Bhadrak. Now this is a girl not just a family, but her neighbors and the society around her can bank on in a time of adversity. The story, of course, is both inspiring and heartbreaking at the same time. Inspiring for the girl's courage, toughness, and a sense of responsibility. And heartbreaking for the manner in which we have left the vulnerable behind in our march forward.